Hello again. Today, where the shit is it? Okay. Today I've decided to do a quick little, book review. Yeah, I recently finished reading Musashi, which is the historical. I want to say historical fiction about Miyamoto Musashi, who was supposedly the greatest samurai in Japan of all time. And I've spent quite a while reading this. I read it on my Kindle, just because I feel like on Kindle books are often cheaper, so I like reading it there. And it's also very portable. I love a good hard copy book, but like the portability of Kindle and like the Kindle app on iPhone. Actually, I don't know if that works anymore. They added like a Kindle app too or something. It was really weird. I just remember opening it one day and I was like, "Oh, you can't read it here anymore." I was like, "What do you mean?" And you just made me install another Kindle app. If that's what happened, I forget. But yeah, I have a Kindle. I bought it last year for Prime Day. It is, I think, I do really appreciate Amazon for like still selling them and like making this like Kindle Paperwhites. I think they're great for reading. It's really good on my eyes. I can read it like I read it on the plane. I read it in the car when I'm not driving, obviously. I read it in bed, pretty much anywhere that I take it, and it's like super portable, which I really, just like can't express how much that like is valuable to me. Like it fits inside the Lululemon belt bag, which is great. But yeah, anyway, I finished it recently. I've been reading it since I guess December when I was in Taiwan, and I think back then I got maybe to like 25% through, and then I read it a bit on my ski trip when we were driving up, but not very much. And then it's been kind of like a while, and I read most of it in the last month. So I'd say like 60 to 75% of the book I finished within the last month. A lot of it in the last week. So I had the pleasure of going to New York over the weekend for my friend Dane's birthday, and I brought it along. So I was reading a bit on the way there, and then I would read at night while I was staying at my friend's, and then I finished it off like on the way home, pretty much, and then, well, no, finished a lot of it on the way home, so 6 hours coming here. I usually fly afternoon out of the East Coast, and then I get here at night, so yeah, read a ton of it on the plane. I was reading the entire time. I think I went from like, I want to say low 70% there to like 90, like a low 90, and then I cleaned it off the last couple of days since I've been back. It's been really good. I love the book, and I think relative to the other books I've been reading, like I was reading was like R.F. Kuang's Dragon something, Poppy War, that series. I did not really like it. I think that one it is targeted towards young adults, and I guess that means I'm no longer a young adult, but I felt like that book was moving too fast, and Musashi was, it is translated, which I think is a little unfortunate. I would like to eventually read it in Japanese once I figure out kanji and like learn a bunch of freaking words again, because I probably would not be able to read any of it, really, or understand any of it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it even through the translation. So yeah, I just want to talk about it before I read or like see online reviews or like other people's input on it, because I went into this pretty much blind. I was aware that Musashi was like a real person. A lot of the characters mentioned are it's not characters in the book, but like there are references to actual shogun and locations, so it's relatively real. And I think in that sense, I consider it historical. My impression of it loosely is historical fiction, but very closely tied to historical, just because the dialogue, I feel like that could be exact, but I doubt it. It's like, I don't know. I'll find out later when I check online. Maybe I'll do that in this video too while I'm doing it. But yeah, I really enjoyed a couple. I'm gonna try to avoid spoiling it in case anyone wants to read it. But I think what I really enjoyed about the writing style, and stood out to me the most the last couple of days while I was reading it, was the way that the writer. Oh, I should mention the author's name. Hang on. Musashi. Where's Yoshikawa Eiji. His actually, is it Eiji Yoshikawa? I don't know. Okay. But anyway, I think he did a really good job of writing. Well, what I really liked was the way that he would kind of, in new chapters or like in settings, he would just use pronouns to refer to people. He'd just say like, the man sighed. Terrible example. Not even an example, honestly. But you'd say stuff like that, or write stuff like that, and then you wouldn't really know who it was, and then he'd like provide more and more descriptions until you'd like kind of start to piece out like who it was. And I think that really lends the book towards, or pushes the book towards being something you want to read very contiguously, because then if you are like forgetting like details about characters, and there's a lot of characters in this book, it's really hard to like know who this is. Yeah, so I think when I was reading like in a straight shot on the flight back, it really felt nice to be able to kind of figure out like, hey, I think this is this guy, you know. It's like, oh, he's back, it's this guy. Because this would always be like it would be like a period about, let's say, Musashi, and then it would be about another character, and then like sometimes in those introductions of the character, it wouldn't tell you who it was. So it would be like, oh, I think this is this guy or this girl, and you'd find out when the name is dropped, or like a certain specific feature is kind of called out to like kind of really describe. You kind of like have to guess. And I think I'm not sure what it like really does, but it like for the story, but that style really got me engaged, so I very much appreciated it. And then something else I really, I guess, enjoyed about the book was like, I think towards the end, Musashi gets closer and closer to finding the way of the sword. So I think it just happens to be like a good alignment with like what I'm doing right now, which is trying to, full disclosure, I'm like exploring Christianity right now. I grew up as a Buddhist. My grandma's a monk, and she stays with us occasionally. So there's a room over there that has a bunch of Buddhist stuff. But I've been exploring that. I think it's fairly similar. Like everyone, or people look for like a purpose in life, I guess. I don't know if purpose is the right word, but people look for meaning. And this kind of like comes back every once in a while for me, where it's like I read like Viktor Frankl's is it Frankl? Forgot. Check again. But Man's Search for Meaning. And it means something a little different every time. And I've read other books that are like philosophy related. I think when I first graduated, I read like Bruce Lee's daughter wrote like his biography, kind of memoir. I don't know what I'm talking about. But it was like be water, my friend. I think it was a very simplified version of Epictetus's assorted discourses and writings. So they're both very much about like Stoic philosophy, where you kind of approach life where it's like your mind is free to think and do anything. Like no one can cage your mind. It's like once you understand that's free, you're able to pursue and do whatever you want and like enjoy life to the fullest. Whereas, no, I don't know where I was going with that, but that is kind of like the ideal I tried to uphold for a while. And then I think reading this reminded me of that, as well as what I've recently kind of seen by going to church a few times, which I will talk about eventually. Yeah, it is Viktor Frankl on Man's Search for Meaning. Yeah, I particularly enjoyed it. I guess just the appreciation that Musashi showed for like all aspects of life as he got further through his journey. He would just like kind of, I think the narrow focus of like Way of the Sword, just like the sword is everything, and that kind of like broadens out and he kind of like understands stuff. And it reminded me of I think Uncle Iroh from Avatar: Last Airbender, where Iroh talks about like how he picks up on how other benders use their techniques in order to better understand firebending. Because I guess the way I saw it was like bending is bending. You know, like maybe there's like certain ways that the characters are like using it, but and it looks different visually because everyone except for the Avatar is limited to like one element. Um, I think my understanding was like you can take from other people, you can learn and apply it to your own. Like it's not going to be like a direct conversion if you're not doing the same thing. Or even if you are doing the same thing, it's not always a direct conversion. So just like learning from other things, like appreciating as much of life as you can is like, you know, part of the way, as Musashi learns. That was my takeaway. And I think for me, what I kind of took away from this was just, yeah, to like keep exploring, like do stuff. And especially now as like I get a little bit deeper into my software engineering career, I'm noticing like, hey, like some stuff from before is actually useful, but not in necessarily like the way I might have expected. It's just kind of like the broad breadth of knowledge is important for kind of relating things, making things easier for yourself to understand. So for myself, I think something like learning type systems in programming languages is helpful for understanding like hierarchies, which I don't think I really understood very well before, but it's like kind of similar to, I guess, like object-oriented programming where you have objects like inherit from their parents, and they can, you know, by doing that you extend and like you have all the qualities of the parent, but then you also have your own, which the parent does not have. And that's the distinction. So I think that kind of view applied to life here is, from my takeaway, is that, you know, there's always something to learn from everybody, especially now as like I'm trying harder. I'm more aware of like jealousy. I had a moment this weekend where I felt jealous of someone, and I don't know why. I still don't. Like he was taller, maybe he was better looking, maybe, I don't know. You know, like these aren't really things to be jealous of, but and they're not things I can change. I guess you could with money, but yeah, I don't intend to, and it's not something I really, it's realistic. I'm not doing it. But you know, those aside, I guess like in terms of like skill, like abilities, things people do, like I meet people at work, peers, or just like, you know, like really anyone who's like doing something maybe completely different. There's always something to learn from people. Because like the further along you get in life, the more different experiences you have, and like the more things just like someone else might have done differently. And I didn't go through that. I didn't learn it. You know, so by hearing their stories, by hearing their learnings, and just like watching them do stuff, there's so much to kind of pick up on. Not necessarily in a way that's like, oh, I should do this, or like, oh, I should not do what they're doing because they're bad at it. You know, it's kind of just understanding differences and kind of like picking things out and trying new things on my own. Do I think that will work for me? Is it worth trying? That type of thing. Yeah, that was my main takeaway from this. I think something Musashi exhibits throughout the course of the book is just like genuine interest in all the different styles of swordsmanship that are out there. So he goes to other teachers. At one point, he even visits someone who used a whole different weapon, like a ball and sickle. And then he eventually develops his own way of fighting that feels the most natural to him. But through understanding of all the different, or a few different sword fighting techniques, he's able to take on his opponents as well as develop his own style. I think that is a great guideline for me, because I don't want to be someone else, right? Like I want to be the best version of me that there can be, and through meeting all the people that I run into in life, I am able to learn something from each of them and apply those learnings in my own life, however that may come about. So, yeah, very excited to kind of go through things. It definitely finishing it and like understanding, thinking about that also made me more like excited to just like ask questions, talk to people, and like hear about what they're doing, how they're doing, what they've done, and yeah, that's my takeaway. And now I'm gonna look up what people took away or what the meaning of the book was, if there was a meaning, who knows, whether or not it was historical fiction or just like purely historical or purely fiction. Yeah, let's do it. Also, I just remembered the love story in the book is, it was just like, it really grabbed me. Yeah, like it, like maybe a story for another time, but yeah, it sucks to be away from, yeah, I guess I was thinking it's on the way home today, but I think when it comes to loving someone, it seems, or just like love in general, it seems like that should not be, it can be like a central focus of someone's life, but loving a concept or like the pursuit of personal betterment aligns better with me, I guess, is what I was kind of considering. But I can absolutely see how people can choose to be like, just choose love and like find purpose through that. I think I could be like suspect to that. Not in like, not that that's a bad thing, of course, but I guess it's like an option to consider. Where I think I am in a situation now where I am a person who tends to let my understanding of love take over my life, and I've questioned whether or not it's good or bad, not necessarily right or wrong, because I don't think it falls under that. I feel like as long as I am trying to understand like where it's coming from and like not going about it in a way that is harmful to anyone, like, and I've done this before where like love bombing is like a big thing these days that people talk about. I've done that. I've been the recipient of that, and it's like imbalance of love is very painful, as is exhibited in the book. Yeah. So I think that is a very difficult thing, and probably something this is something I'm still like considering thinking about. And then the other thing I want to talk about there was just like, I think what I'm at is where I'm at is that I believe loving can be very like opening of yourself. You just kind of like share your kindness, compassion, or well, okay, for me, it's like I like to share I like to share my love by understanding people, trying to like provide assistance where I feel like they might need it, in a way that's like, oh, I thought you could use a coffee. I'll bring you a coffee. Like, oh, I saw this thing that I know you like. I grabbed one for you. It's all those small things. And I think the part where I feel like I've made progress is like not like being okay with that being going unrequited, because like the love is given as a gift. It's not transactional in that sense. Like it is a transaction where I'm giving it to someone, but it's not like I don't think it's right to require returned love. But it is also important for myself to understand that if that I need love too. And it's perfectly okay to, and the right thing to do, in the case where I'm not receiving that from someone, to choose not to reduce like the amount of love I am directly giving someone. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm still like thinking through it, so we'll revisit it. But anyway, back to our main thing here, Musashi. What should I read? Reddit. There's a Musashi supplement store. There's the battleship Musashi, which is a Yamato class. I know that because I play video games. Why don't I read the Reddit? Musashi analysis. Character analysis. Ah, shit. I think there's too many versions of the book. Or story. Because there's like a manga. Vagabond wiki? What is Vagabond? Anime manga character. Oh, Vagabond's an anime. Ah, shit. Okay, Musashi book analysis. I might be a terrible Google searcher. Alright, let's go r/books. 4 years ago, Musashi by Eiji Yoshikawa discussed with me. Hi all, this is my review of the first book I've read since... Okay, that's not too long. Since I picked up reading as a hobby, I've just finished it a couple seconds ago. Non-spoiler review, although for the reasons of events which kick off the story are barely explained, and therefore more than makes up for it with a thrilling story, which reads like a fantastic adventure produced by strong world building. Characters, albeit the ending left me burning with excitement, yet wanting more. Highly recommend it. Oh wait, no, I don't want to read this guy's. Okay. Musashi book. Musashi book 1. What? Book 1 Earth. What, there's multiple books? No way. What? Wait, what? No, there's only one book. Oh, you know, I might be fucking terrible at doing this. I'm trying to do book report. I suck at this. All right. Well, I'm on the wiki page now. Like the Wikipedia. Damn. Maybe I suck at this. I'm just gonna scroll down. This is such a short. Okay. You know what? All right. No, I'm not gonna get Musashi. Fuck me. Is Musashi a real person? Yes, he was a real historical person. A renowned. He wrote the Book of Five Rings, mixed with legend. Is Eiji Yoshikawa? Is Musashi by Eiji Yoshikawa fiction? It's the fictionalized account of the life of Miyamoto Musashi. Okay, so I was right. Historical fiction. Good job, Andrew. I don't even remember. Eiji Yoshikawa. Musashi analysis. Substack. Okay, I don't really trust any of these sources. I'm seeing these some. All right, Noel DeMartine, you show up first in Google. 2018. So lessons learned summary. This guy learned about the path and the way. We're all walking our own path. Yes, it is our actions that lead us to the place we want. to reach. Continuous learning, self-discipline will get us where we want, only if we follow the path. Yeah. The limits we set for ourselves, status and position are very important, part of which come from family bloodline in the book, to Musashi. Society imposes judgment and limitations upon us. Some are unintended, some are self-imposed. So this has to be... Yeah, constant reassessment and not make any assumptions. What assumptions? Often looking within, we get wrapped up in external stimuli, out of skewed view of reality. Something that can lead us astray from looking within is envy or aspiring to be like someone else. Yeah, I guess that's related to what I just talked about. Pretty good. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Don't lie to yourself thinking anyone is perfect. I guess especially now with like Instagram, social media, it's like easy to be envious of people when they're, posting about all the great things that they're getting to enjoy and live through. Doesn't tell the whole story. So it's okay. Don't have to be winning all the time. Value of experience, yes. Growing consists of a cycle of thinking and doing. None can be fully effective without the other. Oh, this guy is okay, Noah. I see you. Please test the lowly Musashi with hardship. Let him become the greatest swordsman in the land, or let him die. Yeah. If it's not hard, is it worth doing? Yeah, it can be fun. It's still worth doing. Not everything has to be hard, but you grow more from hard stuff. Yeah, okay, I think overall this guy's analysis is like not too different from mine, so I guess that was the kind of verification I was looking for. Yeah, was a little bit looking for something more different, like challenge the ideas that I got. Yeah, I don't know, I'll think about it more. And I'll read some other books while I'm at it. Yeah, so in conclusion, I recommend the book. It's very helpful. Yeah, I love reading a few like introspective or books that evoke more thought and reflection. I love reading a few of those every once in a while. Or not a few, it's not true. I like reading every once in a while. That's true. Yeah, all right, later.